Now it's time for Movie Friends with your hosts Michelle and Seth. We're talking film without pretension. We're finding cats that are unexpected. We'll watch a movie, film, or schmovie, and we want you to join our journey. So subscribe and share this podcast, or this might just be the last of the Movie Friends. We're movie friends. We want to be your movie friends.
Hey, welcome to Movie Friends. I'm here with my friend Michelle Rubenstein, who does not make copies.
And I'm here with my friend Seth Vargas, who wonders why he doesn't have 3 heads.
Wowee. This is a big week. This is a lot to get through. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We got some correspondence. We got a big movie. But before we do that, I gotta ask you to please tell us what a roper romp is.
Oh, the most glorious event ever. So I went to go visit my best friend Krista last weekend.
Mhm.
And besides just going to visit her, our main event was to attend a Mrs. Roper romp, where you dress up like Helen Roper from Three's Company and you meet other Helens, and it's just a 3-hour party. And this 3-hour party was amazing. There was food and dancing and games and prizes, and it felt like a fever dream. It felt like I joined a cult. It was the best thing ever.
Is the party 3 hours because it's Three's Company?
That's cute, Seth. I don't know. It was 3 hours long, so I wish it was longer. I didn't know what to expect. Krista and I and her friend Becca, we were definitely the youngest 3 by far. Yeah,
By far.
by far. Yeah, I think there was another group that maybe were like maybe 10 years older than us, because I spoke to them. They really liked my shoes and they wanted info on my shoes. And so, we're all in our Roper wigs and caftans. So like really we're all the same age at heart.
Can you describe for the people who are not familiar with Mrs. Roper from Three's Company from, I don't know, 60 years ago at
70s,
this point?
80s, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about Mrs. Roper is she's not a main character from Three's Company, and she's not even on the full series. She's only on a couple of seasons. And so the fact that like there's this whole event based around her is hysterical. But she's just this like campy, uh, fashionable woman who just wants attention from her husband and makes sexual innuendos, and she's just a good time. And I love her. We love Mrs. Roper.
When you sent me photos, I said, "Why are you dressed like adult Annie?"
Yeah.
So the look is like a big curly red Annie wig, huge glasses or sunglasses.
And a
Like
caftan.
huge.
Yes.
Yeah. And so just imagine a room full of women dressed this way.
Correct. Yeah. And the thing is like Mrs. Roper, she doesn't really have like her hair is not that red, but it's just this Roper wig exists. And so we were all just wearing the same wig. However, my wig just felt like it kept expanding and it was giving Carrot Top. It wasn't cute. But it was a blast. And like the dancing. I mean, dancing to the Bee Gees and ABBA and It's Raining Men. Oh, the Helens raised for the Weather Girls. We all were screaming It's Raining Men. It was just such a good time. And then one of the last songs that played was The Hustle, which I don't really know that dance. And so since I got home, I've been obsessed with doing The Hustle. I learned it Monday night. And so at 9:00 on Monday and Tuesday, Aunt and I have done The Hustle in our living room. I'm like, Aunt, every night we should just do The Hustle because it's so much fun.
You're gonna be hustle people.
That's right. Do the hustle.
Wow.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, I don't know what the hustle is. I just imagine a lot of side to siding. Stepping?
Yeah, it's a line dance. It's super easy. I will teach you, Seth.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What do you mean you won't do the hustle with us? Aunt and I are like, we're gonna learn it and whip this out at parties. We'll just put it on and be like, okay, guys, let's all do the hustle right now.
I mean, sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If it's I'll do. You said you'll do it, and I was like, no. And then you said at a party, and I was like, I'll do that. Yeah, that's the secret.
Well, I mean, we
if
could just hang out.
I'll do something
and I'll call
if
it
it's
a
at
party.
a party. Yeah.
Sure. Well, what if I'll just call our hangouts a party?
Hey, speaking of a party, we got emails.
Email.
First email subject is Breaking Dawn Part 2.
The gift that keeps on giving.
It says, I want to go to Iceland so bad. That cat tour sounds awesome. Remember when you went to Iceland?
I do. Yes.
Wow. Jane Payne would be a cool superhero. The mountain lion scene was, oh my God, I forgot all about the mountain lion scene. Oh my God. When Bella catches the mountain lion midair. I hate this movie so much. I didn't think vampire sperm was on my 2026 bingo card.
Oh my gosh, I forgot our whole discussion on that.
P.S. So happy Michelle is back. P.S.S. Oh, because you had taken off one episode.
I took off 1 week in October. Yeah.
P.S.S. Can we get Aunt on to talk about food in Iceland? I need to know what fermented shark tastes like.
Wow. Well, I don't know if that should be a whole episode, but maybe Ben and Aunt should just have a sidebar.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
P.S.S.S. Gender swap Twilight blows my mind.
Yeah.
And that email's from Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for going along the whole Twilight journey.
I know.
And emailing us about it.
I would do, I don't know how, but like I would do something Twilight related like once a year.
You don't even, yes. Like
and maybe it's just like we pick one at random, and then we just talk about it again.
Right. We should do that. It's Twilight week.
Okay, next email, subject line is, all that jazz costumes. It says, I just wanted to email to say I am fully supportive of a Joe Gideon artery couples costume. Seth, you are describing exactly what I want to do. A deep cut costume party. Mine is Judge Reinhold in stripes after they come back from mud wrestling. Please invite me when you decide to have this party, as I would very much like to attend. And then they included a photo of Judge Reinhold wearing a sweatshirt that says Death Before Disco. And this email is from Betsy.
Thank you, Betsy. You are 100% invited to that party. Whenever
I want to do this so bad. The problem is, like, you would have to live in like a really populated area, and I feel like you'd have to make it like open to the public in order to get enough people to come with like really good, really deep cut, random movie costumes.
Yeah, we'd really need full participation. Because I'm like, we have a big group of friends, but like, are they really going to commit? I need commitment.
Right. Like now I would want to be the guy who like pours sparkles on the horse in the vaudeville in Amadeus.
Yes.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you for writing in. Hey, if you want to be like Ben and Betsy, send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. All right, so it is April. Spring has sprung, and with it, a new song is in the air. And here at Movie Friends, this April is going to be Musician Movie Month. I don't really have a good title. Movies about musicians. This was voted in by our patrons. And hey, if you want to nominate themes, episodes each month, and then vote for them, you can do that. Sign up. Patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. And this theme feels so overwhelming and daunting because it's not musicals, And it's not even necessarily musician biopics.
Right.
It's just musicians. And so that makes it so broad. And yet you and I both landed on, we knew that this was the movie to start on. And so today we are talking about Amadeus from 1984. It's directed by Miloš Forman, written by Peter Shaffer, adapted from the stage play by Peter Shaffer, edited by Nina Denovic and Michael Chandler, cinematography by Miroslav Andrzejczyk, composed by Mozart, maybe? I don't know. Costume design by Theodore Pistek. Starring Tom Hulce, F. Murray Abraham, Elizabeth Berridge, Jeffrey Jones, Simon Callow, Roy Dotrice, Christine Ebersole, and Charles Kay. This movie was made for an astoundingly low $18 million and went on to make $90 million at the worldwide box office. And the reason I say astoundingly is because this film shot for 7 months. Michelle, you want to pull up your stool and read our summary?
Are all men created equal? Antonio Salieri does not believe so. Despite being an accomplished composer of operas and symphonies and being a tutor to some of the great musicians of his day, there is one man that causes him torment. Salieri pledged his life to God in exchange for musical abilities, only to be dwarfed in talent by this man who seems to skate through life. His mission? To defeat God by defeating his creation. He will lie, coerce, and spy in order to take down his tormentor, his rival, and his greatest inspiration, Amadeus. That was a good one, Seth.
Oh, thank you.
I like that. Defeat God by defeating his creation.
Well, if you like that, you'll love Amadeus.
Yeah, seriously.
Wowee. Well, this was a rewatch for me. I had seen Amadeus when I was maybe 9 or 10. Someone in my house was watching it, and I've always had a kind of a slight resistance to period pieces, which we've talked about on the show before. But there was just something about this movie. I was like, wow, this is very interesting. And I watched the whole thing, and I remember vividly how shocked and devastated I was by the ending, where he's just put into like a grave with a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And I've always remembered that moment from this movie. And more recently, I watched this with my son, who's a fantastic piano player, and I wanted him to see it because I wanted, so yeah. So I mean, I watched this like just a few months ago. But was this a first time watch for you?
It wasn't. This is a pretty popular movie that you watch in school. We watched this in 6th grade music class. So that's the last time I watched it, but definitely left a mark because I think about this movie often, actually. And I think about Mozart's Laugh and just the costuming and, for again, something that you watch once in school to last with you. And I brought it up to friends and Anthony and even Ant the other night. He's like, "Oh, is that the movie we watched in school?" And I was like,
Okay.
"Yes, it is. It's the one we watched in school."
Very good. Very good. So how was it watching it now as an adult?
It was good. I felt it was just, again, like so enjoyable. I was very into the story. I don't know if when I was in 6th grade, if I was picking up like the rivalry of all of it. I think I was probably just more captivated about the music, Amadeus's laugh, and again, like the costuming and how it looked. But I really enjoyed all the performances. It's a little long for me, and I feel like towards the second half, there's definitely parts that I like, especially the ending and the death scene, or when he's dying and they're working together. But in between there, I don't want to say it loses me, but I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to conclude.
I agree. I think that everything works well. like deciding to go into Mozart's vaudeville era, I guess. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that by this time, the movie is a little bit longer. And so
Right.
if that were in another place in the movie, or if the movie were shorter, I don't know that it's that the scenes are losing my interest, or it's just that the movie's going on. But, you know, that's a pretty minor squabble that I would have with the film, because other than that, it's pretty astounding. I have a question for you. How do you feel about classical music?
I like it. I'm not
Oh,
very
yeah?
well versed in it, but I do enjoy it. Yeah. Is that surprising?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, it's never been my thing. It's never been interesting to me.
I think because I played violin as a kid and in
Hmm.
high school. So I was, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say I was just like, used to it. It's just what I knew.
Yeah.
So, but I will say I don't listen to it on the regular.
Yeah. I guess this will sound horrible, and I apologize. Listen, I'm not trying to say that this is the way things are, but I don't know the difference between composers,
Same.
periods, songs. I can recognize famous melodies,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been to live performances, like Carnegie Hall and places where great music was played by people much more talented than myself. But I'm always like, all right, well, but what's happening?
What do you mean
Where's the
what's
words?
happening? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you can't just be with the music.
No,
You
I don't
can't
want
just
to. Yeah.
feel the music. You need words and singing,
I need a story.
and you need a story.
Yeah.
The music, I mean, honestly, if you sit there and listen, it does tell a story, but
Right. But I need someone to be
perhaps.
sitting there leaning over and being like, this is what's happening now.
Can I just say, Seth right now is wearing white headphones. He has them positioned over his ears, kind of like a DJ would. It almost looks like a wig from this time period.
It does. You're right.
It's-
There's that one dude in the Emperor's Court who has like a completely shaved top and
yes,
then just the sides. I do.
yeah,
I kind of look like
that
that
is
guy.
you right now.
Yeah, I lost my like in-ear Bluetooth headphones, and so I'm wearing these. These aren't even mine. These are my wife's, and I'm very uncomfortable. I'm very like, I'm
Actually,
not in.
and you're wearing black, so it almost looks like you could be a judge.
There you go.
Anyway, you're holding
What's with
court.
the wigs? What's with the wigs, man?
Yeah, I know. Tradition.
Just everybody. Everybody's got to be wearing a wig at all times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It threw me though, because Salieri, I felt like wasn't wearing a wig. I think because it wasn't white, but he was, because we do see a hair change when he's
Right.
home.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, anyway, despite me not liking classical music, I do really like this movie. And like you said, in my memory of the movie, I remember Mozart. I remember scenes. I remember costumes. I remember feelings. And this will sound like I'm making it up. I don't really remember Salieri that much when I think about the movie,
Same.
which is the whole
Same.
point of the movie.
I mean, really, this is his movie.
Yeah.
Because he's telling the story of Mozart through his eyes and his perspective. It's Salieri's movie. We should call it Antonio. No, just kidding.
This is a fun exercise in what makes someone the lead.
Yeah.
What makes someone the main character. Because on the one hand, the film is named Amadeus. We follow Amadeus when Salieri's not around. We end with his death. So, well, actually, that's not true. We don't really end.
We don't end with his death.
Right.
No. We end with Salieri.
Right. Salieri is narrating the thing, and to the point where both actors are nominated for Best Lead Actor. And probably the only, justice for Salieri is that F. Murray Abraham wins over Tom Hulce for,
Mm-hmm.
Best Lead. It's interesting how one stays with you and the other doesn't. But this time I was like locked in on Salieri.
Yeah, same.
I shouldn't say I don't agree with him, because the dude is pretty off of his rocker. And I don't just mean at the end. Like, he's a hater to a degree that's like fanatical. I mean, at one point he burns the crucifix off of his wall that we've seen him like speak to, and decide to like wage war on God
Yeah.
because he hates Mozart so much.
He's so obsessed with him, and he cannot wrap his head around the fact that this person exists and can create and compose and yet make fart jokes. And yet Salieri, who put so much pride into his work and is a very accomplished composer, but not to the level of Mozart. And he like understands the artist, like he understands the intricacies of Mozart's art, while everyone around them is like, yeah, Mozart's good. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
But like Salieri's like, I just don't understand it. And so that drives him mad. And it makes him angry because he actually doesn't like Mozart as a person.
It's funny because Salieri is the, what do they call him? Court
composer.
Court composer, thank you, to Emperor Joseph II, who we are told is a music enthusiast. He seems, I mean, he's an emperor, so like, he sucks. But he seems to be at least, I don't know, a somewhat jovial and, I don't want to say humble, but he appears to not be bound to like, I am a god emperor. He's chopping it up with common people every once in a while. He's listening to Mozart about the illegal play and stuff like that. But to the emperor, he's like, oh, wow, Mozart is great. But he doesn't have the same respect for Mozart's art that he has for Salieri's. I mean, at one point, after Salieri's opera, he gets up and says, this is the best opera ever made. And I think he like pins something to him or something. And then at the end of Mozart's opera, he's like, yeah, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even that Mozart has the money or the position or the respect that Salieri has everything that he desires in this life, except for in his opinion, Mozart is more talented than him.
Right.
And that drives him crazy. Not just that he's more talented, because he says that he was his idol. Like, growing up, he knew about Mozart and he was inspired by him. But that this, like, party boy kind of a guy would be better than him.
Yeah. And I think the tipping point was when they go to Masquerade Party where they're playing musical chairs and they're wearing the masks. Great. I love this scene. I think this is fantastic. But Mozart mocks Salieri, and Salieri is there and witnesses it. And so that really is just the big insult. I think that really adds fuel to Salieri's plan.
And it's like,
you're going down.
It's a bad mocking too, because everyone at the party is like, play in this style, play in this style.
Right,
He's
right,
like, no,
right.
I don't want to play like that person. Then he does Salieri, and he does it with such relish, and then farts at the end.
Yep.
And it's like, wow. But I don't even know. I mean, I don't think that Mozart at this point, I don't think that he's necessarily really inspired by Salieri's music. Like, he's not like, oh, I love that stuff. but I don't think that he doesn't like him as a person. Like, I think Mozart just thought he was having fun in that moment.
I agree. I don't think he's like a malicious person. He was just like having fun.
Going back to that moment at the end of Salieri's opera where, you know, he just orchestrated the crap out of I love anytime anyone's doing the conducting, you know. It's a great shot. I mean, it might be, I don't know if it's an obvious shot, but we're a little bit low so we can see the audience behind whoever's conducting. And the actors are just going for it, like, you know, working up a sweat. He accomplishes this great feat of artistry. The emperor says this is the best opera ever written. Everyone's like losing their mind, screaming and clapping, like, ah! And all he can do is look up to see if Mozart is watching him receive the honor. So he doesn't even care about the honor itself. He just cares that it's witnessed by the person that he hates.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how to ask you this. Did you find this relatable at all?
Well, I found it relatable about having a passion you care about that maybe no one else cares about on your level. But as far as like a rivalry, like to this extent, where you're just so jealous of someone or you don't understand how they work, the mechanism of how they can produce a product. And in my world, I think that would be audio and audio engineering and editing because that's what I do, right? And
Right.
so that would probably be it. But no, because I'm just not that type of person, nor do I have the time, nor do I care
Right.
about another person to that extent. What about you?
Parts of it. I mean, you know, yeah, I've never, like I said, like burnt a crucifix and decided
Well,
that
right.
God was making a horrible mockery of my own life by. But I do think it's a natural, it's not a good thing that happens, but I think it's a natural thing that can happen to a lot of people where we work hard and then someone that you kind of don't respect that much doesn't work that hard and they do better than you.
Yeah.
And so you stop and say, well, what's the point of working hard? Why does that person have an easier time? Meanwhile, like I said, Salieri has position and money and power and influence. We see where Mozart's living and he's having fun and he's got a great wife. But beyond that, they don't have money. They have a lot of problems. So it's a good reminder for us, I think, the film and the story is to be like, you know, it's not always greener on the other side. And maybe this person excels in this thing, but they have problems that I wouldn't really want. Or maybe excelling in that way would be troublesome. I don't know. I think the movie, I think the story is genius. And I should say early on, this is not accurate to history really, like, at all, which I didn't know. I also didn't know that this movie was based on a stage play. I had no idea about any of that. But I think that the story is pretty remarkable in exploring this idea with two really watchable characters. I almost would watch a movie just about Salieri.
Yeah.
I found both of their scenes to be like equally as compelling.
And for a period piece, it feels very modern because of the dialogue. It feels very
Right.
current.
Right.
So it feels timeless in this weird way.
And the decision to let people speak with whatever accent they have or choose to use, which I wish that more period pieces would do. Not that accent work isn't respectable, but we have here a really, really good example of what can happen if you just let people talk and we as the audience don't have to filter through. I do feel sometimes an accent is a barrier.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
believe
But,
the accent or not? And if you don't, you're not going to believe anything that they say.
right. But I also think the story is very strong here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the dialogue is really good. And so you're just again, it just feels very modern. I really, this is like it's a timeless movie.
Yeah. Well,
It's a period piece.
it's a timeless archetype
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
these. So I put together a list of a few different rivalries. One of which I think is an exact one for one, but going all the way back to Cain and Abel, the brothers in the Bible, where one kills the other literally for this reason. Cain, for anyone unfamiliar with the story, Cain and Abel are brothers, and they both give sacrifices to God. One is a gardener, and so his sacrifice to God is like fruits and vegetables. The other one sacrifices animals to God, and God likes the animal sacrifices better. And Cain is like, well, what the heck? Why is that more acceptable than my thing? And again, he works hard for it. You see all of the same elements at play, and so he kills him. It's a desire. It's a desire to do good that turns into a desire to do evil because your desire to do good is not received. So jumping ahead from Cain and Abel, we've got SpongeBob and Squidward.
Wow. What a jump, Seth.
Squidward is a musician. He works at his job. He could be happier. He could have a little bit better customer service. But he's an upstanding citizen of Bikini Bottom. And his great tragedy in life is that he's next door neighbors and coworkers with SpongeBob, who has a very annoying laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Mozart. And all Squidward wants to do is go home and play his clarinet. And he can't.
Mm-hmm.
And he's labeled as the villain in the story to SpongeBob's fool. Like the fool prevails. And it's like, why? So then we have Hamilton. Are you familiar with Hamilton?
I am, yes.
This time around, I thought about the structure of Hamilton. If you guys, if you're out there and you've never watched or listened to the musical play Hamilton by Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's narrated by Hamilton's killer, Aaron Burr. And the very beginning of
Pardon
Hamilton.
me, are you Aaron Burr, sir?
One of my least favorite melodies in the world, little side note, is I'm Not Throwing Away My Shot. I hate it. Hate it. Oh, it just sends shivers up my spine. There's a lot of great songs in that show.
Mm-hmm.
That is not one of them. But Aaron Burr, at the very beginning of Hamilton, questions, how does this type of person become this type of person? And throughout the stage play, he is tormented by another person's success, despite having great success of his own. And it's because of how easy it seems for Alexander to write and to be promoted and to rise through the ranks. And as I was watching Amadeus this time, and I noticed that at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, he just ripped off this whole play and movie. Like almost the whole thing. Almost like it's all Hamilton is Amadeus.
Yeah. I mean, everything's ripped off of everything.
But some things are
That's a
ripped
bigger
off.
discussion. That's a
That
very
is a
big
big- yeah.
discussion.
Yes, you're right. Okay. Did you expect to talk about SpongeBob today?
I didn't, so thank you.
You're welcome. How do you
It's
feel
always
about
a surprise
SpongeBob?
with you. I like SpongeBob.
Not my thing.
Do you like Patrick?
No.
Do you like Gary?
I say no, and as I sound like Patrick, and I'm realizing like, wait, maybe I don't like Patrick because I talk like Patrick. I don't like Gary.
That doesn't
I
surprise me. That was a
like.
joke.
Oh, do you not like Gary?
No, why would you like the snail that meows? Why would you like a pet? You wouldn't.
Good point.
hmm
I like Mr. Krabs, I guess. I just feel like every character on SpongeBob it's just like a little too much. Like
Yeah.
Plankton is okay, but it's just like stop yelling. Sandy
Well,
is
I mean,
okay, but it's like calm
it's a cartoon,
down.
Seth. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon.
Okay, well, as we mentioned, F. Murray Abraham as Salieri. He wins an Oscar, best lead actor. He thanks Miloš Forman and Tom Hulce in his speech. He says, he's like, this should be me and Tom. Like, me and Tom should both be winning this. And on that note of accents and kind of making it feel young and fresh, Forman had a lot of famous actors that he could have put into these roles. And he opted for these two guys who had done stuff, but they were not huge leading men at this point. And I think that that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That they took this risk. And I think it pays off. So like you said, we don't end with the death of Mozart. We end with the reign of Salieri in the mental hospital, the asylum.
Yeah. I absolve you. I absolve you.
So my next question for you is he in his right mind or not?
I feel like it just got to an exaggerated version of this life that he's been living for so long. Because he tells the whole story to the priest.
Right.
His version. Again, this is Salieri's version. So
it's like reliving it now out loud for the first time.
Right.
Kind of cements everything that's been inside of him.
I mean, in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
He is taken to the mental hospital because he attempts to slit his throat.
Wrist. I don't know if it's his throat because then he's talking for the rest of the movie.
Right, but it was like bandaged. So I don't.
Yeah.
But, and this has nothing to do with Salieri and his mental state, but his two.
I'm so glad that you're bringing this up.
Because that little tongue lick into the dessert cup was my favorite.
So this movie is really long, right? But there's this part at the beginning where two of Salieri's friends or servants, students, neighbors, it's not quite clear. They're trying to get through to Salieri in his room. They're banging on the door. And they've brought desserts or just foods. And they're like, you need to open because we're going to eat it all. And then they start eating. And the one guy who, look, God bless him. He's a little plumper. Okay. He's got like whipped cream just like on his nose and face. And it's such an odd opening for... I don't want to say this is a serious film because this is very fun. It's very funny. It's very entertaining and captivating. But it's an odd opening for this, right?
The funny little guy just sticks his tongue. It doesn't even use a utensil. Just sticks his tongue into the little cup. And like you said, gets cream all over his face. And it's in the beginning. And I think this sets the tone for the rest of the film.
Yes, because we have, to say incredible sets, I think doesn't do it justice. And does that sound dramatic of me to say?
No,
you know what I mean? It's like, how much can you hype up sets, right? But you have these incredible sets, incredible lighting throughout this film, great cinematography. Just the movie looks impeccable, I think.
Yeah.
Some of the best sets ever. But then what plays out in those sets doesn't necessarily match where we are, but it still works.
Mm-hmm.
I also loved that an ambulance is just like a basket on a horse.
Yep. Yep.
Can you imagine being rushed to the hospital if there even was such a thing at this point?
Yeah.
And everyone in town could just be like, "Whoa, look at that guy."
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'd be like, just kill me now. Like,
Yeah, I know.
being dragged through town while you're like barfing all over yourself, or you're like,
Or bleeding out.
yeah, you got some weird 1700s disease and you're like bleeding out of your butt or something. You're like covered in sores and everyone's like, whoa. Little kids are like throwing rocks at you.
That's all you know, though, so that's normal.
I know. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Okay, so we talked about Salieri a lot. Let's talk about Mozart. Mozart, played by Tom Hulce. How did you feel about him?
He's a good time. I find him charming. I can understand how people view him, but at the same time, it's a very engaging watch. His laugh again lives rent free in my mind. You don't forget that. It also reminded me of Nathan Lane's character in The Birdcage.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Mozart's pink wig.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I know we're not historically accurate, but I'm just so curious if that was actually a thing.
I know. I know.
You know, we're in this time period where everything is so like rigid, you know, and it's like, well, this is women's clothes and this is men's clothes. And then if you go back a couple hundred years, it's like, well, actually, all the men wear wigs all the time.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of like real low class if you're not wearing a wig. And it's like nothing means anything. Like truly, like whatever you think means something, it probably doesn't if you just go back enough time in history or to another part of the world. But leading up to my rewatch, I was reading about Mozart and listening to people talk about Mozart, the real person. He had I wouldn't say like a normal life, but I think he had like a little bit more of a normal life than how this film depicts him. But what is true is that his father did travel around with him for Mozart to learn from all of these different master musicians throughout Europe. And so he didn't have a typical like childhood. And the scene where we're introduced to him is just a great scene. I mean, Salieri stealing the bonbon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think Salieri stealing the bonbon is a really good depiction of like his inner life and motivation throughout this movie. It's like, this isn't for me, but I'm gonna take it and no one will notice. But when we're introduced to Mozart, it's like he's so childlike.
I mean, to me, it's like a child star.
Yes.
And he very gifted, but again, grew up fast or had to grow up fast or be in the limelight. And so this just reminded me of a current day child star and how they would act in their 20s.
It's like so much was devoted to one part of their life that they didn't grow up, or
Right.
he doesn't have the same grasp of like social norms
Mm-hmm.
or respect in the way that everyone else around him has. And we see it throughout the whole movie. You know, I think about that great party scene where they're all wearing masks and he's there with his dad. And you're just like, Mozart, you know your dad isn't going to like this. I know your dad's not going to like this, and I've only been with him for like 2 minutes. And when he's like whining to his dad, I mean, it goes beyond whining, but when he's whining to his dad, like, no, father, please, like, I need a punishment. Like, please, like, please play this game with me. That's not, a dude in his 20s or 30s, or not just a dude, but that's not a person. That's not an adult. He is so childlike, which makes Salieri hating him so much funnier.
Right.
Because I think he genuinely doesn't realize what he's saying or doing most of the time. He's just like, this is fun. Or like, this is what makes my brain go. And so I'm going to do this. When in that scene where we're introduced to him and Stanzi, and he's making her say like poop jokes backwards, that is also historically accurate. But I listened to one historian talk about where that comes from. And that comes from letters that we have that Mozart has written. And he'll end letters by being like, oh, I poop on your face. Something like that. But they said it's not necessarily Mozart, that was like a kind of popular form of joking at that time.
Yeah.
So maybe, but he really seemed to enjoy it. But he's just completely absorbed with her until he hears the music. And then it's like he abandons her to go and do the music. So he has no discipline. He has no discipline with money. He has no discipline with, like, oh, I have to, show my work. It's like, well, I haven't written it down yet, which I relate to a lot. And I mean, you and I do a lot of stuff together that has to do with like times and things. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I know.
Sometimes. Sethy. Come on.
And so it was kind of embarrassing. And look, I'm not comparing my level of talent in anything to Mozart, right? But it was kind of embarrassing watching this and being like, oh, that is what it's like to be on the other side of things. But it's also what it's like to be on the side of things where you're like, it's in my head. Like, I know I can do it. I'll do it when the time is right and it will be fine. But then when you do that enough times and it is fine and it is fine and it is fine, you reinforce to yourself, I don't need to do this.
Right. And then if people are trying to work with you, it's very frustrating.
It's very frustrating. So I apologize to you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so the laugh. Tell me about the laugh.
How was that?
No, that's a little too.
It's so hard. Yeah. Wow.
It's an outburst.
It's an outburst, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like the face.
Yes.
The facial expression that Tom makes is just perfect. It's perfect.
I heard a few different things about this. That he based this off of a director that he worked with.
Yeah.
Or that he drank an entire bottle of whiskey while trying to get into character and came up with it that way.
I heard that the whiskey was only drank when he had to do pickups because he couldn't recreate the laugh. Tom couldn't recreate the laughs, and they had to do, I guess, like ADR, where they had to add it in at some point. Again, what's true? So he would drink. So he couldn't like recreate it because it was too hard to get to that octave, and so he drank some whiskey. Again, do not take this. This isn't gospel.
Right. No. No one should take anything that we say. No one should take anything that we say factual here. Do your own research, folks. All right.
Yeah. Just, in the rumor mill.
Yeah, I can't do it. But I love this choice. It is so weird and off-putting, but it doesn't put me off.
No. Mm-mm. I'm like charmed by it.
Right. Like, can't you see this being so annoying to someone?
To be around him, to work with him, it would drive me crazy. I mean, it would not be a pleasant experience. But as a viewer, very fun.
Mm-hmm. Salieri says, he's like, that was not Mozart laughing. That was God laughing at me through Mozart. And so I think it's so appropriate, since this is Salieri's story, that the laugh is like all encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
That if God laughed at you, it would be so striking and unnerving and odd and weird. And it might not sound that way, but you don't know how it would sound. And so it might as well sound that way.
Right. And that's how you hear it.
Right.
You know,
and
when
that's how you
someone
hear it.
might be as bad as you think, as other people might think they are, but you hate them so much, it amplifies to you.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh my God. I think that it's pretty great. Mozart was also really into cats. This is not captured in this film, but I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
He interrupted a performance for some royalty at one point because the cat was in the room. And he just left the piano to play with the cat, and they couldn't get him to play again.
I love that. Great.
So the film follows Mozart as he leaves. Where do they keep saying he's from?
Salzburg?
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Salzburg. Goes to Vienna. Having the time of his life. But he's always kind of under the rule of like a king or an emperor. Because these are the people who are commissioning these huge, lavish productions and orchestras and symphonies. And, you know, you're not writing a symphony on like the common people's dime. You know what I mean? He accomplishes a lot. He writes a lot. I think one of the historians I listened to said 626 individual pieces, but that includes like, I can't remember how many operas, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And these operas are very complex. All of his music is very complex. And so to produce that much in a very short life is very astounding.
Mm-hmm.
He falls ill. And before he dies, so Salieri hires one of the women from Sex and the City.
Cynthia Nixon.
16 years old.
I can't believe it. I definitely didn't remember her. So that was a surprise.
Hires her to spy on him. So she's their housekeeper. She just appears at the door and says, "Someone paid for me to be here." They let her in, which is insane.
I know.
Insane. Then later, after Mozart's father dies, Salieri shows up wearing the costume that his father wore to the costume party, which I didn't piece together like my first couple times watching it. And Mozart is convinced that like ghost is coming or death is just something supernatural is happening. And he commissions him to write a funeral song, a funeral piece. I can't remember.
Requiem.
Requiem.
Mass.
Thank you. And Mozart works on it. And he and his wife believe that it is killing him. Working on this piece is like literally killing him. But he does it anyway because they need the money. Salieri manipulates him into thinking that the money that actually came from his opera came from the guy who commissioned him and says, "You need to finish this tonight." And so the two of them work together. And I think this is my favorite scene in the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's so much happening between them. I don't know. What did you think about this?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's all really Salieri wanted is to finally be in the brain of Mozart and understand how it works, but also just extremely frustrated because he can't keep up. And then Mozart to just be thankful or just to enjoy the experience, to have someone there to help him. Salieri, a friend at this point, is how he views him, or, companion. And so I think this is just like feeding for Salieri, is just like feeding this fuel even more and even more and even more. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, but I hate this so much. I hate this guy, but I'm actually going to finish it. I'm actually working with him. And it's like we've been building up to this moment.
Salieri has always wanted to be in the room where it happens.
Exactly. Very nice.
and he finally is. He gets everything that he's wanted, which is that he is in a position over like he's literally over Mozart, who's like dying in bed, and he has the pen and he can't keep up. He can't understand. And it's like, it is so painful to watch this grown man. And F. Murray Abraham's performance, there's a phrase like, I can't remember it exactly, but it says like, you used to pray for the situations that you now hate. It's like, you're like, I can't wait to own a home. I can't wait to own. And then you own a home and you're like, I hate this place.
Such a money pit.
Yeah. Or it's like, oh, I want to have a child, or I want to, once I'm married, or once I graduate college, or and these things that you're just so consumed with and want. And then you arrive and you're like, actually, I can't do this.
Yep.
And then on the other side of it, you have Mozart, who's dying and he's trying to get this out, but he can't write it himself. And he asks for forgiveness from Salieri and says, I thought that you never liked me. And Salieri is like, liked you? You're you're the person. And it's just such an incredible moment between, and it's not just a moment, it's a whole sequence of events. And you're like, if this is how both of you have felt the whole time, why have both of you acted differently towards each other than this is what you actually wanted?
Well, for Salieri's pride and ego.
Right. And Mozart's inability to appreciate.
Focus and appreciate. Yeah.
And then he's so happy, again, like a child. He says, will you, watch me sleep? Will you stay with me while I sleep? And he says yes. And he's so happy that he has someone to watch over him and take care of him. It's unreal. We didn't mention, but adding to Salieri's hatred for him is he has a student who he's teaching to sing opera, who then stars in Mozart's German language opera, and Salieri is convinced that they had sex.
Yep.
And he's like, ugh. So then later, when Mozart's wife comes to him, he is so flirtatious and forward with her. But then I think that plan is kind of derailed when he reads the original pieces and just like it like falls to the floor. And he's like, oh my God, this guy's unstoppable.
Right. No copies.
That doesn't mean anything to me because I don't write piano music, but I'm sure it's very impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably all in his head, so he probably could write it down again, but it's one and done. There's no backup. And I am like the backup of the backup of the backup.
The equivalent for you and I is if we got to see like a really good movie podcast's audio tracks, and we were like, there's no editing. There's no editing. There's no volume adjust. There's nothing.
Exactly.
And then the laptop would fall from our hands.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which supports what I was getting at the top of the show of what my equivalent would be. That's it.
Right. Right.
That's it right there.
You mean they positioned the mic perfectly and the person didn't move around?
There's no plosives? What?
Mm-hmm.
There's no echo that you have to remove? There's no reverb?
Oh.
It was a perfectly treated room? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and then you put the host in that perfectly. I mean, look, you can make a room with enough money, right?
True. That's so true. Mm-hmm.
But then you put the host in there. They still got to do the thing.
The host
So no.
did their whole episode and didn't say once?
Oh, that would... Yes, I would actually fall to my knees. And not just one time, but they've been doing that. You find out that they're fun and energetic. They're creative. They're thinking on their feet. There's no edits. There's no there's no plosives. Yeah, that would actually make me that would drive me up a wall. Yes, as I spend, 3 hours editing every episode of Movie Friends a week. Yes, that would drive me up a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before we move on, I do just want to bring up that death scene again. No spoilers, but this reminded me in many ways of All That Jazz. My wife brought that up too as we watched it. She was like, "This is really like All That Jazz." I was like, musical geniuses are terrible people. I don't know what to say. But the ending really reminded me of All That Jazz in that it's preceded by this wonderful kind of musical scene and accompaniment. And then it's just so unceremoniously like plop
to a pile. At some like it's jarring.
Very jarring. And it's just that's it. That's the end. That's the end of Mozart.
That's it.
Buried with a bunch of other people. Now, this was also from what I heard someone else say, this was also not uncommon for people to kind of be buried all together. I guess they needed the room. I don't know. So then we get Salieri and, his whole confession, because he's like, leave me alone. When the priest comes to him, he's like, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. Please, 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 please. The priest says, oh, don't worry. All men are created equal in the eyes of God. And Salieri gives the biggest oh, really? Turns to look at him. His eyes are twinkling. And he's like, okay, priest, here's my opportunity to tell you about how untrue that really is. And then he tells this insane story. And so, yeah, we end with Salieri being like, don't worry, man. You're stunned by everything that I just told you. Yeah, you're mediocre too, but it's okay. Everyone's mediocre. And I'm the patron saint of mediocrity. And so I absolve you of being mediocre because that is the world that I live in. I don't live in the world of exceptional. I am mediocre. And so it's okay if you're a bad priest. And then he goes through the asylum absolving everyone of their mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movie ends. But I want to go back to Stanzi, Elizabeth Barrage. How'd you feel about her?
I loved her. I thought she did a great job. I learned she was recast last minute. They had an original, their original actress sprained their leg or not pulled a muscle, but something happened. They were all playing soccer. The cast was playing soccer. And so they did recast really quick. I thought she was great. I thought she was really green. It made me laugh when her and her mother show up to one of the operas.
Mm-hmm.
And Mozart's brought on stage and her mother taps on the stage, like, hey, bring me up. Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was
Yes.
great. That was fantastic. But like again, I thought she did a good job of showing what it's like to be married to a person like Mozart, and
Yeah.
she cares. Like, we have to make money. I do understand the genius that you are, but also we have a family, we have a kid now. She's also very protective and supportive. He doesn't have that. After his father dies, there's no one. And even his father is kind of disapproving of the wife he chose. The house is messy. You're not really cooking a meal. Why are you living here? Come back.
Right.
So I thought she did a good job.
Yeah, describing her as green, there's just such a real air to her performance.
Yeah.
I don't feel she's playing a character. She just feels like such a real person. I feel like I could walk into a diner and sit across from this person, where you're probably not gonna find Mozart, this character, like in real life, but she feels so real. I think it's just inspired acting.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not completely unsympathetic. She's not completely naive. She's not just like, yes, she's like sleeping all day, but they're having fun. They're young and having fun, and who
Exactly.
cares? She didn't know his dad was showing up that day.
Right.
But yeah, she's not like, oh, everything's fine, whatever. Wolfie will take care of it. She's like, no, you need to make money. And I think she just wants to funnel his creativity into ways that make them money so that they can live. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my only other note is how absolutely insane it is that Salieri's master plan is he will get Mozart to write a funeral requiem. He will then kill Mozart and pass off the funeral requiem at Mozart's funeral as one that he has written. It will be considered like the best thing that he's ever done. And by doing this in a church, in a holy ceremony like a funeral, in front of everyone, that this will be like the ultimate, I pulled one over on God and Mozart.
Right. Wahahaha. He goes insane.
Demented.
Yes. Yes. And then it's like, Mozart, you killed yourself,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. I do like Jeffrey Jones as the Emperor. I mean, in real life, Jeffrey Jones, not a good person at all. Evil villain.
Yeah. Yes.
Good
But
performance
I
here.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
When he's talking to Mozart at the end of the opera, and he's like, yeah, it's, I don't know, what would you say? Yeah, too many notes.
Too many
And then
notes.
he's talking to Stanzi, and he's talking to the mom, and the mom like faints, and then he's like, well, there it is, and then just walks away. Or there you have it, or whatever.
I also like when we first meet him, or maybe it's when Mozart's about to meet him for the first time, and his courtmen are all talking to him, and he's just like, mm-hmm. And he does this, mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I like that. That was just, mm-hmm.
You just did a perfect impersonation. Talk about a deep cut costume. Michelle will come to the deep cut costume party and be like, I am Jeffrey Jones as the Emperor from Amadeus, but specifically when he does this. And then she'll do the and everyone will go, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
That scene is brutal when he wants to play the music as he's entering. And then Mozart is like, no, I can play it by ear and by memory. And then he plays it, and then he's rewriting it in front of Salieri. I was like, oh my God.
And he's not doing it to be like petty.
No,
he's just like, oh, this would
no.
sound, oh, what if we added this on? This would make it sound better. And that's such an insult for Salieri to hear.
You and I have said at great length over on the show that we do on Patreon that describes what it's like making a movie, because we're currently in the process of making a movie. That aspect of a creative relationship where someone says, okay, here's what's going to happen. And then you say, well, what about this? And what if this happened? you brought an idea to the movie that we're making that completely changed the entire thing. You weren't doing it to be like, I'm gonna be better, and I didn't
No.
take it that way. But I think that there's just like a time and a place for that. And in front of the emperor it's not it.
Well, in front of Salieri, because the emperor's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mentioned earlier I watched this with my son, and he's when I say he's a good piano player, trust me, I'm not like the proud father type to be like, my kids are great. My kids are great, but he's genuinely gifted when it comes to the piano. He can play by ear despite having hearing loss like Beethoven. Really phenomenal stuff. And so he and I will work on music together, little projects, little ideas. If you've listened to this show, you have heard little things that he has recorded or come up with and helped me with. And after we watched Amadeus together, we were working on one particular project, and he kept saying, well, we can't do it this way. And he tried to explain it. And I was just like, why? Like, just, we can do it like that. And he kept being like, well, it should be more like this. And if you wanted to do it that way, we'd really have to restructure this. And I'm like, but just, and he started laughing. He's like, remember that scene in Amadeus where Mozart is dictating to Salieri and Salieri can't keep up? And I was like, you're calling me Salieri? And he was like, yes, that's exactly what this is like right now.
Oh gosh, that's so good. That's fantastic.
And I gotta say, he was right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our happies and crappies.
It's time for happies and crappies. Happies and crappies. It's time for happies and crappies. Happies and crappies. It's time for happies.
For everything that we just said, it's I feel kind of silly saying it, but this time around, my happy is the sets. Out of this world. And I guess I'll include maybe the costuming in with it. Just unbelievable. My crappy is exactly what you said earlier. I don't know that we need to spend so much time with the whole vaudeville thing. Going from like opera to opera to opera to opera kind of gets a little bit old. I mean, the opera that he performs at the end when he's like dying, it's amazing. It's the magic flute. That's really great. But there's like one opera too many for me. What about you?
My happy is that little tongue lick from the little funny guy in the beginning of the movie. I appreciate that. We're setting the tone up. And then my crappy, just to piggyback off what you said, the length. I know there's the director's cut. I guess that's what I watched. I don't know because this isn't available for streaming. And so I rented whatever version was on Apple. I don't know if it's the director's cut, but like you said, opera after opera, especially the vaudeville area time, it loses me a little bit and it confuses me a little bit. So, but that's on me. That's on me.
Yeah. And it's like we're introducing this new guy, and it's like I don't really care about this new guy that
Yes,
much.
right.
So
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about how we feel about the movie. So now let's hear from some strangers on the internet in a segment we call Half Star, 3-star, 5-star. All right, I pulled these reviews from letterboxd.com, which is a website and an app where you can log, rate, and review movies. We start with a half-star review, which is the lowest rating that you can give a film. We go all the way up to a 5-star review, which is the highest rating that you can give a film. On this show, I read the half-star reviews in an accent or an impersonation. Michelle, do you have any requests?
I don't. Are you feeling inspired? Do you?
Have I ever done Yoda?
You haven't, but it just sounds like Kermit. But the fact that like Mark Hamill played Mozart in
I know. On the stage.
screenplay. Yeah. So can you do Yoda? You would have to read it.
I think
like
I know. I'll do Yoda, but I won't mix it. That might be too hard. I feel like Yoda's a mix between Kermit and Miss Piggy because it's Frank Oz,
Hey.
so that's Miss Piggy.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yoda, I am.
Yen Skywalker. There's different versions of Yoda.
Yes.
Because there's that when he's like whispering. Now I'm gonna do it too deep, but no. Yeah, that's too deep. Okay. Let's try it. I don't know.
Okay, let's see what comes out.
Yeah, okay. half-star review for Amadeus, Miloš Forman's best picture Oscar-winning film, read by Yoda. I don't know if Yoda has a last name.
This film feels so exaggerated, plastic, and inauthentic. Swear they gave the they gave the guy who played Mozart laughing gas. The only
Yoda's
good
going through
parts.
changes.
The only good parts were when everyone shut up and actually played the music.
Yeah, I think I did the range of Yoda.
I think thank you, Yoda.
Welcome you are.
There you go. Wow. Maybe we'll keep him off the wheel for now.
Oh, wow.
Well, until Yoda's feeling better.
Into hiding I must go. Goodbye, Chewbacca.
Those are real things Yoda says.
Yes, very good. It works. It works when Yoda is saying the
when
lines.
Yoda, okay, little side note. In episode 3, when Yoda is saying goodbye to all the Wookiees, does he say like
goodbye, Wookiees, and especially you, Chewbacca?
Does he say that, or am I just making that? It's like when Dorothy is saying goodbye to all of her friends in Oz, and she's like, "And I'll miss you most of all," to the Scarecrow. But Yoda's on Kashyyyk, the Wookiee planet. He's like,
miss you most of all, will I, Chewbacca?
That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah. But if it was verbatim, I couldn't tell you. Okay.
Right. That's how it feels in my head. Okay. 3-star review says, have you ever watched a movie that was unarguably great, but that just doesn't work for you? Well, that's how I feel about Amadeus.
I get it. Sure.
Simple, to the point. You know, I wanted to pull this one out there to represent the people who watch this and they're like, not for me.
Nope, but I respect it.
Okay, 5-star review says, a beautiful combination of Mozart's brilliant music and utterly remarkable portrayals by the central actors, culminating in a catastrophic movie about a tormented musician and the demise of a musical prodigy. This is a splendid flick, a timeless classic.
Wow, splendid.
Splendid flick.
Splendid flick.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, that's fun. Splendid flick. Well, I'm happy for this person.
I think we need to make a t-shirt. Splendid flick.
It's been a minute since we've made any. We do have a merch shop, friends, if you're interested.
Moviefriendspodcast.com. You can find fun shirts like Splendid Flick.
Yeah, I'm adding that to our notes. I'm writing it down, Seth.
Don't worry, it's all in my head.
That's right.
All right, what did Ebert say? I feel like Ebert needs his own jingle. Everything here has a jingle except for him.
I miss like that. So can we just give Ebert the locked in? Ebert.
Yeah, how would you jingleize Ebert's name? Like Ebert.
Oh yeah. Oh, that
like
sounds
Ricola?
like Earwolf though. Oh yeah.
Oh, that does sound like Earwolf. Okay. I was trying to do Ricola. Ricola. Can I say that? Is that... Can you say an advertisement on a podcast?
Yeah, that's fine.
Ebert.
What'd you say?
Ebert, what'd you say? Ebert,
Tell us.
Ebert,
Tell us.
what'd you say?
Tell us. Tell us.
Tell us.
Just do it.
Tell us.
Yo, Ebert, what you got?
That's actually funny. Like a window, like the sound of a window going, shh, and then someone leaning out and says, "Yo, Ebert, what did you think?" And then the sound of a typewriter, ding.
Just combine all of that, and so the little jingle is 2
The
minutes
Ebert
long.
jingle is a minute long. Ebert.
What'd you say?
Yeah. You know what? He deserves a good jingle, that guy.
You need something.
Send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. Do you hate all of the jingles in our episodes? And are Michelle and I the only ones who like them? Because we like them.
We like them.
Anyway, he rated this 4 out of 4. And the quote that I pulled from his review says, "Amadeus is a magnificent film, full and tender and funny and charming. And at the end, sad and angry too. Because in the character of Salieri, it has given us a way to understand not only greatness, but our own lack of it." This movie's fundamental question, I think, is whether we can learn to be grateful for the happiness of others. And that, of course, is a test for sainthood. How many movies ask such questions and succeed in being fun as well?
Wow.
To which I would tell Ebert, Hamilton, SpongeBob, Oppenheimer. A lot. We need a follow-up jingle called "Take That, Ebert."
Take that. Do-do-do.
Ebert's gonna take it.
What's he gonna take? It. That. Serving up hot.
Dancing on the grave of Ebert.
Oh, wow.
That'd be a fun grave to visit.
Where is he buried?
No idea. But our respect to him. He deserves our respect, I think. As do all
Absolutely.
great film lovers who turned to the pen to express their opinions on films. Okay. So we rate things as a movie, schmovie, or a film. We rate it 1 through 5 stars. We give our thoughts on the runtime, if we recommend it or not, and we give a shout out to whatever part of the film's practical filmmaking stood out to us. Before we record each episode, we write down a guess of what the other hosts will rate the film. And in 2026, every time we guess correctly, we get to add a point to our tattoo tally. Whoever has the most points at the end of the year gets to pick a tattoo for the other host that they will then get tattooed on them without knowing what it is first. Currently, Michelle has 1 point and I have 6.
Okay. For you, I wrote down 4.5 movie. Oh, man.
Oh, no, you got it.
Oh,
Yeah, that was me
yes!
going, yes.
What? That was not you doing it. You're like, oh.
No, I
Your
went,
face.
ah.
Oh,
You can
Yes.
review the footage in Riverside later.
I will.
Yes, this might be like film territory,
I know, right? Mm-hmm.
and maybe it should be. But I mean, look, if you haven't listened to this show from the beginning, and God, why would you do that? This whole idea started out as kind of a joke as to how people will be like, well, that's a film or that's a movie. And Michelle came up with the schmovie, which is its own thing. But to me, yeah, like, I'm not going to go as far as to say this is perfect. This is 5 stars. There's a few things in there, but man, the acting, the pacing, it's all there. It's incredible. Yes, 4.5 star movie, great experience, Loved watching it again, even though I just watched it a couple months ago, and I don't rewatch films all that often like this. So if it worked for me, I hope it works for you the first time that you watch it. As far as practical filmmaking, everything, everything. I don't like period pieces, and I am in love with every set, every item, the little gold snuff boxes that he's selling to stay afloat, every little piano and harpsichord, the costumes. It's all incredible. Runtime, a little bit long, but you know what? It's a small quibble. Okay, so now I feel like I went too low. For you, I guess the 4-star film.
4.5 movie for me.
Oh, okay. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. 4.5 movie. This is such a good time. It's such a good watch. I would recommend this to everyone. And I'm glad that it still holds up in the way that I felt about it when I experienced it when I was in 6th grade. Like you've heard us say already, the runtime, a little long for me. But that's not going to stop me from recommending it. And as far as practical filmmaking, those sets, we're shooting on location. When we shoot the opera in Prague, that opera house, no, they use all candles to light that. And that's insane to me to do that. Great craftsmanship and artistry and dedication went into making this. So it's just, it's a really, really good movie. We didn't even talk about that. The sets, like the shooting on location in the opera house and not using any electrical lights and lighting everything by candlelight.
Right.
I mean, it's gorgeous. It's insane. And just the fire hazard. And yeah, anyway.
Right. I said to my wife last night, I was like, if you were a candle maker back in the day, you'd be working around the clock, right?
Right.
How can you possibly make candles fast enough for everyone to use candles at all times? It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And then
Crazy.
Miloš Forman, goes back to the country that kind of abandoned him.
Yeah.
And they had to have like the police and following them, and he had to promise to not fraternize with anyone, and very intense on-set experience.
Yeah.
And yet still managed to make a great film. There's an Orson Welles quote that I'm going to paraphrase, which is basically like, the enemy of an artist is no limitations.
Mm.
And clearly, they were not bound by these unusual circumstances in this film. Hey, if you're not limited by our unusual circumstances, we'd love it if you give us a rating and a review wherever you're listening. Does your podcast player of choice allow for comments or rating of individual episodes, reviews, wherever you are, whatever you're playing us on? We'd love it if you would do that. It really helps the show. Throughout the week, Michelle will send me little comments that people make. We got one today where Big Meanie, hello Big Meanie,
Hello.
commented that he was listening to an episode of ours and then turned it off to go watch the movie. That's great. We love to hear things like that. So please leave us a review, leave us a comment. It really makes our day. And I'm not just saying that. We are so pathetic that makes our day.
Or it's the little things that it's just little things. I thought I had
That's
something
right.
better to follow that. I know you did it. Sorry. I didn't need to interrupt you for that. Go. Fail.
Or what's Michelle gonna say?
Ding.
You can also send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought about Amadeus, Tom Hulce's laugh, Miloš Forman, poop jokes, whatever. Tell us about a time when you were as big of a hater as Salieri. Or if you've had a hater as big as Salieri. You can also support the show, patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. $5 a month gets you access to all of our additional episodes, our patron-only Discord, which, if you don't know what Discord is, it's a place where you can talk to other people and us. You also get to vote on monthly episodes and every quarter a monthly theme, just like this monthly theme. We're doing Amadeus because our patrons voted in this theme. So sign up and join the theme tour train thing. Join the theme party, okay? Look, we're done.
We're so close.
It's a long day.
We're so close. Yes.
All right, Michelle. Next week is my pick for Musician Month. What are we doing?
We're going to be talking about Selena from 1997, directed by Gregory Nava, currently streaming on Peacock. Finally.
I wonder if people get sick of hearing us say almost every week, we've wanted to do this movie for 4 years.
I know.
Because we say it all the time, but truly, this has also been on our list to do for a long, long, long time. This is my pick. Again, this topic is so huge. Could have gone in a lot of different directions, but I was like, I got to do it. Anything for Selena.
Anything for Selena.
Oh my God, I can't wait. From
Yeah.
Mozart to Selena. Just how it should be. All right, well, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Seth.
Thanks to our patrons for voting in this month, and thank you for listening. And remember, folks, I speak for all mediocrities in the world. I am their champion. I am their patron saint. Till next week when we're talking about Selena, thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Theme music by Jean Marie Vargas. Visit us at our website, moviefriendspodcast.com, and please subscribe and rate our show wherever you are listening. You can support Movie Friends at patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Thanks for listening.